Well, because it is Christmas. It's holiday season. Let's finally talk about some Christmassy related things, Janine.
Yes.
Because we also saw the new movie Violent Night. New
Yes.
Christmas movie. David Harbour, Badass
Action
Santa.
Santa. Yeah.
My sign today is I Believe in Santa, which is a big part
Of that
of
movie.
Violent Night.
Yeah.
You have to believe in Santa, otherwise he won't believe in himself. He won't
Yeah.
believe in himself, Janine, and this is very
Yes.
important.
I like kind of going into this movie with a very jaded Santa. I mean, and you don't fault him for feeling that
No.
way, where kids just want money and video games and they don't want, you know,
Or
special
David
things
Harbour.
and
David
they
Harbour's
don't
Santa hates video games. He hates them.
yes. Yes. He's very traditional and people don't care and kids are greedy now and they just want easy things and once they get one thing they just want something else. They just want more and he goes to all these houses and they don't bake him fresh cookies anymore. They just put out a box of vanilla wafers, you
Yeah.
know, and just put a note cash, cash, cash video games. And so he's just very frustrated. I love when he goes to that house and under the tree is just a bunch of Amazon boxes and
No,
he's
it's
just like
horrendous. Don't even look at me with any of that.
I know. I'm like, that would be
That
my tree. I mean, I
that was
might
the
wrap them at
worst.
least, but yeah. And he's just so annoyed and just throwing the stuff. He's getting drunk. He's just so annoyed. Um, so yes, like I like that this is kind of our setup for Santa. He's just, he's still doing his job. He's talking about this is probably going to be his last year because he's just tired of people not believing, not caring. The spirit is just very lazy and greedy and he's just kind of fed up. So I like that we set up a Santa. A Santa of today would definitely be very jaded, I think. So I like
Yeah.
that. Um and then we kind of get into this family. Um where the husband and wife are kind of separated and they have their young daughter and they're going to the man's family's rich family's house for Christmas.
Not just rich, like extortionately rich. Like
Yes.
clearly the wealthiest people in
Yes,
the
like
entire
their name
country.
just because they have so much money.
Like,
Like a family empire rich.
how do people have this much money, Rich? Like,
Yes.
it's a bit
It's hard to
extreme,
fathom. Yeah.
and you can see, and yes, they're going there. It's a bit, you know, people don't like each other in this family. People are a bit backstabby to each other in this family.
Yes.
The mother, the matriarch, has everybody
Yes.
under her thumb, and it's all
Yes.
this kind of vibe.
I'd like to think it's a bit of how horror movies do kind of horror stunt casting, uh,
Yes,
you know, casting actors who are well known for other kind of iconic horror characters. I'd like to think this was a bit of a Christmas stunt casting, as Christmas Vacation was a very popular, loved Christmas film
yeah.
that starred Beverly D'Angelo. She is the kind of very hard matriarch in this film that everyone's trying to kind of suck up to and
It did actually
impress.
take me a little while to realize it was Beverly D'Angelo because
Yeah.
just her voice has just gone so
A little raspy.
hoarse. It
Yeah,
sounds
just a
like
little bit.
me today.
Yeah. Yeah, me too. I'm a bit raspy myself. But yeah, so I'd like to think this was a bit of Christmas stunt casting her as this kind of very hard ass mother of this rich family where everyone's kind of sucking up to her. So then there's her daughter and her wannabe actor boyfriend, which I'm very impressed with Cam Gigante. He was not a good actor kind of earlier on and he's actually kind of gotten pretty good. I think, people might know him from this ridiculous like kickboxing movie Never Back Down.
Oh god.
And um Then, you know, obviously James in the Twilight, he was our villain in the first Twilight film where his
Oh,
acting
that's where
was
I'd
not
seen him
was
before.
not great. But here he was very good as like, you know, a wannabe actor who's just kind of this hot plaything for the daughter of this rich family.
Yes, who
So
is
he
insanely stupid, and I was deeply offended that his character's name was Morgan.
yes, he was working. So yeah, and then her son
Who is the single most annoying creature I've ever come across in a
which
movie.
is hilarious because, um, the family who's kind of separated, that husband and wife, their young daughter, her name is Gertrude after Beverly D'Angelo, after the matriarch of this
Yes,
family,
referred
and
to as Trudy.
yes, and since the daughter wanted to suck up to her mom, but she had a boy, she couldn't name him Gertrude, so she named him Bertrude, so they call him, like, Bert.
I
So
just Do you know what? Do you know what I really appreciated actually about the movie? Yes, it has kind of these two story angles that do merge together pretty
yeah,
quickly. But particularly in the family story, not
yeah.
necessarily so much in kind of David Harbour's Jaded Santa, because it's funny-ish to start off with. Oh, look at Santa, he's so drunk, he's vomiting on people from the side of his sleigh and all this.
Yeah,
Like, it can only play so far, I think,
yeah,
that joke.
yeah.
And thankfully, I don't think they do.
They
Once
did
once
go kind of over the line with it.
No, once he gets to this main house, I think
Yeah.
it kinda stops, and he obviously becomes then badass Santa, which is
Well,
it's
yeah, because it
perfect.
starts with because you know, we see this kind of montage of him going to all these houses where they're just leaving him boxed cookies, and we see a scene of how Trudy, like, took the time and she made,
Yeah.
like, special cookies for him. She's like, "I even made one that looked like Santa." And so when he comes, he actually sees like homemade cookies so that he's already kind of, you know, it already kind of lifts his spirits a little bit that,
Yes.
you know,
Well,
that somebody made him fresh cookies. So now he's like chilling, he's, you know, in the massage chair,
oh,
still
yeah.
drinking a little bit of booze, having a good time, and then, you know, shit kind of starts to go sideways.
Yes. What I'm gonna say is that the comedic aspect of David Harbour's Jaded Santa can only be played so far, and
Yes.
it is played so
Right
far,
to the
and
point,
then
yeah.
it is stopped, and I appreciated the fact that it was
Yeah.
kind of stopped. But constantly and consistently in this movie, the families infighting is hilarious to me, because I think they're all just stupid people,
Yes.
or the majority of them. Our main father, or, you know, the husband the father of Trudy, our main kind of kid.
Yes, the son
He's
of
the
Beverly Lee
most
D'Angelo.
normal
Yeah.
of that particular family. You know, him and his separated wife
Yeah,
are
he
clearly
seems
a
like
bit.
he's just kinda fed up with them, you know, he's done kind of kissing his mom's ass and, you know, sucking up to her, and he really kind of wants to focus on Trudy and working on the relationship with his ex-wife and trying to, like, get back together with her, like, he wants that, he wants them to reconcile.
Yeah,
And
he
he
does.
obviously has this really great relationship with Trudy as well. Um, so like, yeah, the mom is kind of doing him a favor by coming along to this kind of family Christmas get together,
But even they
even though they're
seem like
separated.
even although they are separated, even they seem like they do still kind of get along.
Yeah,
There's
like
just seemingly been some, I don't know what it's not massively
really
clear
explained, yes,
why
why
they've
they've separated,
separated,
you know.
but they seem to still get on. There doesn't seem to have been anything horrendous happen or anything like that.
Yeah.
But oh my god, consistently the humor that was coming from this family just
family
worked
infighting.
so
Yes.
well for me.
And so, yes, when we do kind of get our kind of burglars or thieves enter the story, even they're kind of fighting with the burglars. It's
Yeah,
just kind of funny as well.
it's really, really
Yeah,
funny. I really appreciate I didn't think it was gonna be as comedic as it was. I thought this was a straight kind of action Christmas
action, yeah.
movie. I didn't realize it was gonna be as funny as it was, and people in my screening were absolutely cracking up.
Oh, nice.
It's
Yeah,
great.
yeah. Mhm.
I did wanna mention actually, um, the the dad here, played by Alex Hassel, who I saw in a movie at a festival years ago now, a movie
Oh.
called, The Isle, which was like
Oh,
a fantasy horror
yes.
movie,
Yeah.
set in, like, the Scottish Islands, who I actually met the director of at that time. I got
Yes, and
my quote on the
on the
poster
poster,
for
yes.
its American release, and Alex Hassel was in this movie.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, it's the only other thing I've ever seen him in.
Yeah, because I was gonna say I haven't really seen this guy before. Um, so yeah, like I liked kind of like you said the comedic aspects in terms of the infighting with the family, and then when they're kind of all held hostage, they're kind of infighting with the with the thieves, kind of trying to break into Beverly D'Angelo's safe. So all of that was kind of really fun. All this kind of happening while
Yeah,
Santa's just kind of chilling in the massage chair. So then he
and
kind of
this is
gets
why
caught up in this.
he does. This is why I think John Leguizamo is absolutely perfect for this kind of role, because not only is he very good at playing shady and sinister and creepy and just messed up with a vendetta, he's
Yeah,
also hilarious.
yeah,
He's very, very good at playing both of those things on the fine line of both of those things, and
yeah.
he nails it here as
He
well.
does. He kind of plays it as well, having this like chip on his shoulder,
Yeah,
um, kind of hating Christmas and uh,
because he had
and
a bad Christmas once.
yes, and just like um how kind of smart he is. He's like all these steps ahead and like his plan is
Oh,
really
his plan's really
well
good.
spelled out
Yeah, there's no
and
bad
yeah.
plan gone on here. You know, you're thinking we often think of Hans Gruber's plan at the Nakatomi as good Christmas movie villain plans.
Yeah.
This guy's on another level. This plan is exceptional
Which
from
if you
John
think about it,
Leguizamo.
this is very much Die Hard as well. It's like
It's
this
kinda
guy just
Die Hardy,
kind of
yes.
gets he's at this thing just chilling and then, shit goes sideways and then he kind of has to kind of step up and save these people.
The
And
difference here is that it's not a random person, it is in fact Santa himself.
yes. And he wasn't planning on getting involved in the situation and now he kind of has to step up and get involved and save these people. And also he's kind of the um the one factor who's kind of, wasn't planned for and is ruining this pretty perfect plan.
Yeah,
Like Hans would have gotten away with it if
if it
uh,
wasn't for
John
John.
McClane wasn't there. So, and I think John Leguizamo would have gotten away with his plan probably, if Santa wasn't around. So,
Well, not
um,
necessarily, given the fact that, there's a story element
there's
with the
yes, there
money
is a
later on that,
yeah, there is a bit of
John
a twist
Leguizamo
in there.
wants.
But, I think his plan was pretty seamless and then he kind of had this rogue element in there that just happened to be Santa Claus. So
Yeah.
I like that kind of take that the story went and I like that it leaned into kind of this kind of crude comedy because I feel like we haven't had that in a while, like this kind of energy of comedy that's like very much, F-bombs and gory violence and all of
Yeah,
that
it
kind of
is
thing.
very
It
crude.
feels very much like late 90s and like I feel like that vibe of movie just doesn't really happen that much anymore. Everything's all kind of very serious or all very kind of straight comedy and we don't get kind of this fun kind of mix of things and action and kind of gory action at that.
Certainly
Um
not in a Christmas movie, which
no.
is it does make it feel a unique Christmas movie, as well as, like you say, potentially being a little bit of an homage to Christmas movies from the past. Beverly D'Angelo, Christmas Vacation, the badass Santa aspect of Die Hard. There's even a little bit of Home Alone going on
Thrown in there,
in this movie.
yes, and I really thought that was fun because, you know, the girl, she does kind of say she's gonna, like, set up booby traps like Home Alone, and you think, that's not really gonna work. Even kind of one of the thieves is like, "That's not gonna work," and then,
It does, it
it
works.
does kinda pull off pretty well, and it's very kind of it's a lot of kinda gory things happening. It's
it's a
whole
phenomenally
yes.
gory movie. I love
And,
how
like,
gory it
there's
was.
always this talk about those booby traps that Kevin sets up would've straight killed these people, and
Yes.
so, you kinda see a bit of the realism in that in
Yeah.
this movie, which I think is really fun.
It is, it is.
Yeah.
It's I loved how gory the action was as well, and obviously when, John Leguizamo and his crew is now holding this family hostage, and it's down to Santa, who we learn is a former 10th century warrior.
Yes, I love that we get his kind of backstory and his kind of history that he wasn't always Santa. He was like this
No,
raider. He was this not good person. He would raid villages and kill people,
with his
and he
favorite
was this guy.
warhammer.
Yes, and he was like this kind of not great person, and then you know he became Santa and changed his ways and all of that.
Although he's
But
still pretty
but
handy with a hammer.
yes, but it still kind of gives this lore that explains how he can still kind of fight, you know?
Yes, yeah.
So
Which
I liked that.
is good, is good. I like
Because
that
even
they've
in the
they've
beginning, when he's fighting those first couple guys, it felt like it was difficult for him, like he didn't
mm,
really, know what he was doing. He was just kind of getting lucky and just kind of, just being a natural fighter.
yeah,
So I didn't know, like, how is he gonna do all this action stuff? He seems a bit clumsy. But then kind of, obviously this is not something he's done probably in a very long time. So that kind of explains why he's a bit fumbly and bumbly at first. And then when we kind of
yeah.
get this backstory, it explains why he's kind of a good fighter who can kind
Yeah,
of
and then
defend himself.
then really the standout action scene is in that kind of out
Shed.
barn kind of area.
Yeah, when he does find a hammer.
He finds a hammer. He goes, "I can use. I know how to use a hammer. I'm
Yes.
good with a
So
hammer. I remember. I'm very good with a hammer." And there's that
yeah,
whole
really
military
fun.
squad, and he just absolutely plows through them all in just the most brilliantly brutal
Yeah.
ways. Like he's chopping up people in like a wood chipper at one point.
Yes. Yes. Very intense.
It
Um,
is there's blood splattering absolutely everywhere.
everywhere.
Everything's caked in blood. He's caked in blood,
Yes.
but he also has continually these little walkie-talkie conversations with Trudy. That's really the
It's
heart
really
of
sweet,
the
yes,
entire
and
story.
it's what kinda keeps him going, so I love that kinda relationship they set up with him and Trudy, because we set up this very jaded Santa, so to kind of have something that's keeping him in this fight and keeping him kind of, "Somebody does believe in me." It's really kind of very much throwing in the spirit of Christmas in this crazy, gory, you know,
Yeah.
F-bomb filled, action movie,
And it
so
is, and
so I liked that.
it turns into an incredibly sweet movie. It's an incredibly
Yes.
sweet
Yes.
finale. I think you have to be a deeply cynical person to not like a movie like this.
Yes, yes. I had so much fun with this movie. Like, I found myself, like, wincing at all the kind of
Yeah.
crazy kills and,
Applauding at some of
yes.
the great goriness.
Yes, and, when Santa got hurt in some kind of things, I was like, "Oh, no," feeling bad for Santa, really kind of interested in like, I like that he doesn't even really understand the Santa magic. He just kind of, goes with it.
No, he
People
keeps
ask
bringing that up in the movie, doesn't he? "Oh, it's
He's like,
Christmas magic. I don't
"Magic?
really
I don't really know how
understand
it
how it
works," but
works."
yeah, so I love that he doesn't really even understand it. Kind of the explanation of why, parents, still are able to get their kids presents and that whole thing. He only brings kind of special presents to good kids who have been good. And if you're not good, then yeah, you're just gonna get presents from your parents.
Yeah.
So I kind of like that explanation that, because yeah, that's the whole thing. Why do, you know, parents just get the presents if they know Santa's gonna come, you know? So I like that they actually kind of take the time to kind of explain those little things and make it make sense, and, you know, I always like when Santa movies or movies can kind of, like, really make the lore of kind of what we know of Santa kind of make sense. So I like that they got into his backstory. I like that they kind of made sense of, like, you know, how Christmas things work. And yeah, they hit kind of emotional beats, they hit the great action beats, gore, and just yeah,
I'm sure
it was so much fun.
I'm sure I saw David Leitch's name in the credits as well.
Yeah, yeah, because I think they're the 8711 or something is their kind of their studio. So
Okay.
when I saw that
That
at the
that
beginning, I knew
makes
it was them.
sense.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
makes sense as to why it was such a good action movie with a bit of
Yes,
heart then,
yes, yes.
because 'cause they're
The
good
guys,
at
the
those.
John Wick guys. So
Yes, they're very,
yeah,
very good at those kind of movies. I had a frightening amount of fun really with
me
Violent Night. I
too.
think it's a great,
It's
great
really
movie,
fun.
and David Harbour is an outstanding Santa.
He's a
A
great Santa.
brutal Santa, but as is David Harbour,
Yeah.
he's big, he's brutish, but he's got a soft heart.
He's got such a softness, yes, and, like, you know, we've really already endeared ourselves to him as Hopper, and
Yeah,
so, you
and
know,
this is
we
just
know him
Hopper
to be
Santa.
yes, so we know him to kind of be this hard ass, but this very kind of lovable, softy kind of person. So, you know, I think he was perfect for this role, and the action was really fun, and he was very hit the very emotional beats really well, and the action beats really well, and the comedic beats really well.
Yeah,
Um, so yeah, this
everything
movie
about it.
hit a bunch of tones and melded them really well, and, you know, it felt like a great action movie, it felt like a great comedy, it felt like a great Christmas movie, so it was all those things that and they really gelled them together well, and I
And
really had a lot of fun with this.
yeah, and as well, you couldn't even nitpick out the stupidity of the villain's plot because it really wasn't stupid at all. It was really clever. It had meaning behind it.
Yeah.
Like it had literal, legitimate. You've been giving all this money to dodgy, shady people in the world,
Yeah.
and really you shouldn't be doing that. So we're gonna take
Gonna
it
take it off your hands, yeah.
because there seems to
You
be a
don't really deserve
political
this.
argument to
Yeah.
Leguizamo's kind of situation, as well as him just being a general kind of bad guy.
Yeah.
He does actually want to take the money for a reason that sounds kind of reasonable at
Yeah.
times,
Yeah.
which is again it's doubly better for the
Yeah.
fact that the villains and the villain plot also makes sense,
Yeah.
also is seems reasonable. As
Yes, and
brutal, as
just the fact
horrible as it is, as
yeah.
maniacal as they all are,
Yeah.
it's, and, he has, Leguizamo has his little moment with Santa as well. They have a really nasty one-on-one
Oh,
fight with each other.
yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, Santa has his
Leguizamo
moment of
having
calling out Leguizamo.
yeah, and Leguizamo having a little moment right now too, also in the menu, so
He is,
get
he's
it,
he's good to
get
see.
it.
He seemed to
Yeah.
go years and years without doing a thing with the actual facing. He was just playing Sid the Sloth in the Ice Age movies.
Yeah, well, he was in John Wick as well, so,
Was
you know
Leguizamo in John Wick?
yes,
Was
he was
he?
his he's like his mechanic, his car guy. He's the one who tells Alfie Allen that he stole "Do you know whose car you stole? That's John Wick's car."
Oh,
You know, he's the one who kinda gets to set the thing in motion by telling him, "You're an idiot.
okay.
You stole this person's car." Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
fair
he's like his
enough.
mechanic guy. So, yeah, he's in the first 2.
Okay, fair
Yeah.
enough. Yes,
Yeah.
I can't say anything but great things about Violent Night. I thought it was a
Yes, it was
wonderful
really
movie.
fun. I had so much fun with this one. Yeah.
Yes, success, not only